Evil science and magic buddies.
Hello and welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast presents Evil Science and Magic Buddies, the show within the show, the conspiracy
he's doing it.
of the conspiracy. Listener stories part 16. We're about to get creepy. You know why, Robert? Do you know why?
No.
This is the fucking heart of summer.
Well, there it is.
Oh.
This is take summer as a body, rip its fucking heart out, throw a bunch of fucking fireworks and explosions in there and a shitload of yard beers and truck beers.
Oh, yeah.
And a pair of these fucking pit vipers, and guess
Oh,
what,
God
brother?
damn it.
You're fucking celebrating.
You just brothered me.
And this, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, no, this is Mark's life now. Just get used to it, everybody.
Listen, things are different when you buy a pair of bootleg pit vipers from Amazon. It changes you as a
man.
person.
No, definitely. When we're in our dimly lit studio basement, it's good to see that you're still fighting cataracts vigilantly.
This is my Vietnam.
I didn't realize.
On my face.
All right,
You
well,
realize that? Okay.
Wow, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
There
Yeah.
it is. I can't
Yeah.
respond to that in any reasonable way.
nobody can.
I accidentally stumbled upon these pit vipers. And then I'm like, oh, they're a pretty popular company. I'm going to get them on Amazon. I'm like, oh, damn, these shits are cheap. Not thinking that they're like normally $100 sunglasses. So I got myself some bootleg pit vipers and felt bad because the company should be supported. So you know what I did? I went to the official pit viper site and I got myself 2 pair of official pit
Oh,
vipers.
my God. Yeah, you didn't waste any money at all.
Yeah, no.
Could
Here's
you
the
have
thing.
just gone to any gas station, found one on the rack, and been just as humiliating to yourself?
I know.
Well, they're not pit vipers.
They're not pit vipers.
Yeah, I didn't even know that it was a thing, besides obviously a very venomous snake.
No,
until
he's
just
talking
an
about it
hour
like
ago.
everybody knows.
Everyone knows the pit viper.
I got a fake pit viper. I was about to say that he didn't buy a fake snake. He didn't get a box, and it was
There's
just a rubber fucking thing.
There's some bomb-ass sunglasses. That's what they are.
That's debatable. That is definitely a subjective statement there.
Listen, man, this is a way of life. This is how I'm living now.
You're rocking them,
I'm
and you're
living that
rocking
pit
them with
viper life.
pride, and I'm proud of you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're being the best and weirdest fucking
If somebody,
you can be.
here's the thing. Let's say that somebody went to Amazon, right, and they're like, "Oh, Cryptonaut podcast. I wonder if they got T-shirts here," and they bought one of our bootleg T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they would then turn around and after they realized the error of their ways and the mistakes they made, that they would go and be like, you know what, I need to go to hellerspace.com and get that official T-shirt.
And then buy another one.
Yes, hopefully 2,
With
maybe
that,
3.
With that logic.
Oh, my God.
That flawless fucking logic.
Wow. Nice promo for people to buy shirts for
Yeah,
us.
no, real smooth.
And also, speaking of that, before we get started here, just a quick T-shirt thing. We are only available on TeePublic. So if you see us on Teespring or Redbubble or any other of those T-shirt sites, it's not our shit.
Right.
Because there is these other print-to-order fucking, which is what we use for our T-shirt designs, that have our shit everywhere, but they're not ours.
Those rap
Yeah,
bastards.
I saw a couple people message, and somebody was saying Teespring, and I didn't know if they were
Yeah.
just screwing up.
Well, I didn't
I
find
was
them-
like, they're not. That's not a. So I didn't know what to say.
I definitely found our shit like on Redbubble, which is like kind of an offshoot of like TeePublic or whatever, but it's not our shit. So don't get it there. And definitely whatever you do not buy the shit on Amazon unless you want to get like one of those cool like shower curtains, which is kind of fun.
Oh shit!
I mean,
yeah.
I buy the bootleg shit as a gag because it's, kind of funny.
Sure.
But don't look for quality and don't spend your hard-earned money on Amazon or eBay for that matter. eBay sells.
Yeah, there's a couple of our designs.
Yeah,
Well,
which
I'll be
is
damned.
which is garbage.
I
but
guess
regardless,
we made it.
looks like we made it, Robert. Regardless, we're here to get spooky with listener stories part 16. But before we get started, patreon.com/Cryptonaut podcast. $1 is a shout out and some bonus audio. 1 bonus audio per month there, good friend. And the $5 is the shout out and the up to 4 bonus audios, no more than 4.
Never.
It almost was though.
It almost was.
1 month it almost was.
It almost was, yes. And also to that, we'll give you access to the Discord. Thank you to everyone that supports us over there. Robert, we have shout outs to do, good sir.
Yes, we do.
Let's do them.
Sarah Cooper.
Oh shit, Sarah Cooper, what up? We actually just gave her a shout out not that long ago when she sent us that fucking dope ass box of the Snally
Oh, the
Schwab.
Snallygaster Museum.
Yeah, exactly. So be sure to check her out on the Instagrams. Look up the American Snallygaster Museum, and also too, if you Google that will bring you to the official site of the American Snallygaster Museum. Check them out; they're awesome.
And she also has a podcast.
Yes, she does, and that is the Manic Pixie Dream Ghouls with Sarah and Kenzie. Check that out. That's also on the Instagram. So yeah, totally. Thank you so much, Sarah, for your support. We appreciate it.
Dope.
Fucking A right.
Hell
Moving
yeah.
on. Emily Mackey.
Hell yeah, Emily.
Tess, 1S.
What up, Tess?
John Amater.
Hell yeah, John.
Douglas Eric Summers.
Oh shit, Douglas.
Damian Howe.
Oh, Damien, thank you.
Vanessa Fortune.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, that's something else there. It's a wrestling name.
It really is.
It is. It's awesome.
Shane Bollinger.
Hell yeah, Shane.
Adam Deal.
Adam, thank you so much.
Tess, also with 1S. Barrios.
Thank you, Tess. Again.
Jesse Sell.
What up, Jesse?
Aluminum Falcon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually, when I saw that one coming out, I was like, fuck yeah.
I like that.
I like it.
Travis Sargent.
Thank you, Travis.
Candy Wagner Hiles.
Nice. Thank you, Candy.
Moister Cloister.
Yeah.
Moisture Cloister. We did that one. We talked about that briefly. We couldn't figure it out, but thank you, Moisture Cloister. We appreciate it.
No doubt. It does roll off the tongue. It seems a little, it's not icky. Icky's the wrong word. It's just this but it definitely gives you a tangible feeling.
Totally. Yeah.
A period, E period.
A&E, nice.
Anarcho Arachnid.
Yeah.
As if spiders aren't already chaotic enough.
No.
You don't need to add that shit, but
Right.
all right.
Totally.
Linda Brennick.
Yeah, thank you, Linda.
Tyler Venturi.
Hell yeah, Tyler.
Hannah Bolton.
Hannah,
Yep.
thank you so much. Thank you all for your continued Patreon support. Again, check that out, patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. We are doing it. We're back to the listener stories. We're going to get creepy. We got a bit of a theme here. I picked these out of our archives.
I'm very excited, actually.
And I think this is the time to get spooky, man. I get it, man. Halloween is like far away. I get it, but we're all counting down the day.
It's never far away.
I know. It
In
really
our
isn't.
hearts.
No.
This right now is my time to shine because it's the 4th of July. So from 4th of July to October
Oh,
is
you've
my
been fighting for this for a while.
until Halloween is my year.
That is your Halloween season.
As
You're
soon
right.
as Halloween passes, I shut the year down and it doesn't start again until at least July 2nd. So that's
Wow.
where
That's a lot of year
Till
not
today?
to actually be engaged with.
it's where I live, dude. This is the time that I fucking come to
Really?
life, dude.
Do you at
All
least
right.
let it go to like November 3rd?
No.
But you need to pregame a little before the
And-
July 4th.
Dude, July 4th is where it fucking starts, and then we fucking party hard until Halloween, and then as soon as Halloween's over, we shut it down, we skip all those bullshit holidays, and then we wait for the 2nd of July to pop around again, and then we fucking party again.
Wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
your life is short.
You know what, though? I'm making the best of it.
I shut it down after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I don't even give it Thanksgiving.
Oh, come on, the food.
Don't even want to
The
hear
family,
about it.
the
Don't
friends.
care. No, sorry.
we've had great
Shut
Friendsgivings.
it down. Friendsgiving
way.
is one thing, but actual Thanksgiving ain't about it. Don't even talk to me about Christmas. I ain't even going to get started about Easter, dude.
What's wrong with candy and bunnies?
I don't give a shit
Yeah,
about
the
rabbits.
resurrected dead.
I don't get if
Right.
dude. Rabbits, candy. It's not my jam, dog. It's monsters.
Oh,
and
that's
fire.
right.
Yeah, dude.
I'm so
Monsters,
disappointed in you.
monsters, fireworks, and beer.
There it is.
Fucking that's where I live, dude.
You know, you can redefine any of these days to make them what you want them. Just saying, buddy. Think out of the box.
Life is long.
Look beyond the pit vipers.
Life is wow. Life is long. I live 3 months a year. Life is long.
It's a long life. Robert,
All
let's,
right.
let's get started.
So the first story we've got is from Riley, and the subject is Shadow Hat Man. We've been down this road once or twice.
Shadow hat.
It's so weird. These fucking hat-wearing, literally shady motherfuckers. It seems like they're ubiquitous, but as a kid, I don't ever remember when I was reading lore coming across this phenomenon. So I wonder if it was just something that was on lockdown or just wasn't happening as often. We'll get to the bottom of this somewhere.
All right, let's do
Somehow,
it.
someday. Okay, so it begins. Good evening. Oh, thank you. Good evening to you too.
Hello.
I'm not sure if you're still taking listener stories, but I figured I'd hit you up anyway in case you found what happened to me interesting. I haven't shared this story with anyone except my immediate family. There's a lot of happenings surrounding this, but I'll try to keep this to just the main incidents. Also, before I begin, I should probably say that most of my family seems to have a connection with something supernatural, i.e. ghosts, aliens, angels, fae.
Fucking super cool
Okay.
family.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a super spectrum of
Yeah.
fucking incidentals there, okay? Which leads me to believe that they may all be the same things, just interpreted differently.
I love that theory.
Solid. Oh, yeah, and as for my mom, sister, and I, yeah, we got fucking shadow people. All right, Riley.
Well,
All right.
Oh, those rat buggers. When I was little, like 3 or 4, we lived in a trailer in the woods that sat on approximately 66 acres of land. 66.6, perhaps? This was North Carolina woodland, so lots of deciduous trees and lots of patches of swampy areas. Our land jutted right up against the train tracks, which still saw regular use. Still, we were out in the boonies. It was gorgeous to me as I had grown up there, but to my mom, who was and still is a city girl, this was a pretty creepy place, and I definitely identify with your mom on this one. We regularly saw bobcats, wild dogs, and lots of snakes and spiders. My favorite were the wolf spiders. Again, we are going to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But I digress. For me, this was an ideal place to play and explore. And according to my mom, one day I came in from the backyard talking to an imaginary friend named Scrippy.
Oh, Scrippy.
Good old Scripps. My mom didn't think much of it, as most little kids have imaginary friends. This would have been around summertime, and I continued my friendship with Scrippy into the fall. You know, Mark's entire world.
Yeah.
You know, just for example.
Dude, then you got to shut that shit down and start over again.
With little incident. When the Halloween decorations went up, I pointed at one of the plastic skeletons, telling my mom, "That's Scrippy."
Yeah.
Oh, he looks like that. You're a bold motherfucker, Riley. This, of course, gave her a bit of pause, as most parents don't want their kids having an imaginary skeleton as a friend.
I mean, depends on the skeleton,
Yeah,
like what they're up to.
Yeah, if it's jolly.
Yeah, no, I
It's
mean,
like, hey, I'm Scrippy. It juggles some bones.
Yeah, no, if
and
it's
it's
then-
like some Oingo Boingo Dead Man's Party type bullshit,
Oh,
like
fuck
where
yeah.
it's puppetry and good times. Yeah,
I mean, if it's like the Crypt Keeper, like hissing at you, it's like Scrippy, and it's just like crawling at
yeah,
you.
well, desiccated flesh is not a skeleton.
Yeah, it's not cool,
Skeletons
man.
can be cool or creepy, but rotten flesh is always going to be creepy.
Totally.
Did you guys have imaginary friends?
I did not.
No, I wish I did.
I mean, I talked to trees, but I kind of understood where that was going to go.
I mean, like I had
Relationship.
toys.
Yeah, I had toys too.
And
I
then
had a
you play
vast
act, but,
imagination.
like-
Yeah, but I don't think I had like a 20-foot tall dragon buddy named
Nah.
Herkimer or whatever that would accompany me around.
No.
I always felt like I missed out because of that.
I mean, I think I probably could have
maybe.
used an imaginary friend would have helped.
Yeah, well,
But, you know,
Wow.
I mean, here I am
What do you
today.
mean? What are you saying?
just, you know, as a young kid, not understanding life, just trying to get through shit to make it happen.
Are
If
you
I-
an after-school special that we need to talk about?
if
and
these-
wait, are you suggesting that you wanted a non-corporeal intelligence that had more maturity and experience than you to guide you through it? Or are you actually suggesting that somewhere in your subconscious, your inexperienced childhood mind could have given you the leg up you needed to get by in life?
I think like a magic buddy would have been nice.
So literally a magical supernatural
Yeah, just,
buddy,
you know, someone to hang out and be like, hey, Mark, it's going to be all right, brother. Don't worry.
i.e. not imaginary.
All right. I guess. Okay, fine.
Okay. So that's what
Man.
Scrippy looks like.
Wow.
This, of course, gave her a bit of pause. Okay, because parents don't want you hanging out with skeletons. At this point, small things began happening around the house. Things would move about until one of us shouted, "Where is insert object here," quote unquote, well said, only to turn around and have it right where we just looked. This still happens to me all the time.
Oh, God, that's infuriating.
Yeah, it is infuriating. And a little frightening. One time, my mom walked in on me playing and talking to Scrippy, and a rocking chair abruptly stopped rocking. Campy shit you see in horror movies, except it was actually happening at my house.
Fucking Scrippy.
Living the life.
Being a touch hole.
Well, not yet. I mean,
No,
so far-
that's come on. Like, you're rocking the thing, mom walks in, and then you fucking stop.
all right. That is a little touch holery there.
The touch holery begins right now.
Fair
At the end
enough.
of this, there's going to be a pool full of zombies. It's going to be a fucking pool. There's a black hole. Everyone's dead. I hope not, but
Well, someone survived.
Pool of
Riley survived to
zombies.
right. All right. My parents at this point were getting more and more worried about it. So they started prodding me more about Scrippy. I told them he looked all dirty and dug up, which did not ease their minds. Yeah, all right. So maybe we're getting into that desiccated land.
oh yeah.
Worse, I started having night terrors and sleepwalking. And more bizarrely, Scrippy started telling me that I needed to be careful of his brother, Snaky. Oh,
I told you,
fuck.
it's ramping
You
up.
called it. Chris called it.
Yeah, he did.
Oh my
No.
God, not Snaky.
No.
Hey, if you see Snaky, maybe just stay away from. Snaky's going to be really the good guy.
Oh, you think there's going to be that
There's a
twist?
twist, for sure.
Dude,
Oh, man.
Scrippy's the bad brother, and Snaky's woman is here to be the good guy.
Oh, All right.
Let's find out.
I'm relying on your prognostications, buddy. Let's see what happens.
Do you think Snakey could be an angel?
Well, not based on what I'm about to read. Snakey had strangled him while he was sleeping, and he didn't want him to do that to me. So if I ever saw him, I needed to run away.
Snakey's
Okay,
not.
so maybe Snake's out the good guy.
What we're saying here is Snakey is not our Michael Landon.
But you don't know
But
why.
Scrippy could be lying.
Or he could. There could have been a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe they had a sister, Snorko,
Yep.
and
that's the
fucking
name.
Scrippy did something to Snorko, and Snakey was like,
Fuck that.
"Bruh, you're getting strangled."
Oh, all right.
See, a lot of places you can go. And that's when we started seeing the tall hat man, of course.
Oh, shit.
After the research I've done now, I recognize him as a typical shadow person, about as tall as the ceiling, of course, and wearing a short stovepipe hat. The only distinct details I could see of him were a pair of blazing green eyes.
Not
Green.
the kind of eyes you want to see.
No.
Not good.
He was almost constantly in the corner of my room at night, causing me to sleep with my parents most nights. My mom also saw him on occasion, though for her it was only from the corner of her eyes. Well, that's at least a small relief, because when your parents don't see it and they don't want to believe in your 9 foot tall, behatted, emerald-eyed buddy or enemy, then life becomes a living hell. So at least she's seeing a little something. My mom ended up going to a medicine man who blessed the house, so Chris's poltergeist fucking prognostication is really starting to come true hardcore.
Totally.
And the sightings stopped for a time. When I was around 12 and in a new house, the sightings started up again. One night I was sleeping and my younger sister came and sat on my bed right beside me. I asked what's wrong and she didn't answer, so I rolled over. No one was there, just an indent as if someone was sitting there. Icky.
That's gross.
I screamed, and my parents came running. I don't know how to describe it, but when I screamed, an intense flood of sadness washed over me, like whoever was sitting there was disappointed in me. I haven't felt that presence since.
Oh, that's a weird fucking...
Oh, yeah, that's odd.
That's weird.
Yeah, like maybe it's something looking for help. Maybe it's Scrippy. Maybe it's something else. It's just like, hey, I'm looking for a buddy. And the shriek of terror, which is a completely reasonable response. And a 12-year-old kid or a 38-year-old dude or whatever.
Yeah.
It's reasonable, but to I don't know, to be terrified and then feel guilty, that seems like a 1-2 punch of emotions that I'm never looking for in life.
No, not at all. It sucks, man.
From then on, the Hat Man was a regular visitor in my room. Oh, maybe the bedsitter was the protector. I was never paralyzed when he was around, so I don't think it was sleep paralysis, but who knows? The whole family had weird things happening to them, such as disembodied footsteps, orbs, smells of sulfur,
No farts.
etc. Yep, sulfur, never a good sign. He followed me to another house and then to fucking college. He just wants to rock.
Son of a...
Everyone wants to sow their oats.
It's just, I want to fucking drink some beers, get some fucking parties, toga things, right?
Fucking
Toga
hat, man.
parties are a thing.
I had tried doing a smudging, but the incidents got more intense afterward, so I gave up on that. Once I moved out of the dorms, he followed me to my apartment, always with those bright green eyes. I didn't see him every night, just on those nights when I let my guard down. I also started seeing other things, which I would most liken to echoes. They would be people or animals caught in a loop doing the same thing over and over. That's interesting, because that's also one of the more fundamental hypotheses about what hauntings can be. There are poltergeists that are obviously the noisy ghosts that seem to be some sort of intelligence, maybe not dead people, interacting with mostly pubescent kids, but whoever the fuck they're interacting with. And then there are these things that seem to be like mineral VCRs, like something is trapped in the rock or whatever, some energy that is not actually sentient in any way, but just visually repeating a loop of whatever. So to have a combination is intriguing. And maybe they're unrelated. Maybe Riley's just sensitive and was able to perceive the separate thing. I don't know yet. I haven't read this yet, but I find that interesting. For instance, in one apartment I lived in, there was a Doberman that would just appear from the corner of the room, leap at the door, and disappear mid-stride.
Weird.
That is fucking weird. which is all fine and good, but fucking annoying when you're trying to watch MasterChef and a dog leaps from the TV at you. Oh my
geez.
God.
All
You're
right.
like, well, there's Barky the fucking ghost dog.
Yeah, no. If I had a corner Doberman, as we're wont to have in these haunted situations, and I saw that fucker jet and disappear before it tore through the door, I'd be freaked out. It would be annoying. But watching your fucking TV and that shit leaps right at you like a bad 3D moment, fucking constantly.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would suck. Okay. I did eventually have to make my then boyfriend, now husband, move the TV so it wouldn't bother me anymore. Excellent call, Riley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely excellent call. There were definitely parts of my life where I thought I was going absolutely insane. That's understandable. I can't imagine how many paranormal victims feel that way. But my mom and sister would occasionally see them too, and my dogs would always respond to them. And still, there was my Hat Man friend who would just show up just when I least expected. Okay, so maybe I misinterpreted. I was thinking Hat Man was Snaky, the Strangler.
Oh no! It seems to be separate. Yeah,
it's
separate things.
Something different.
So far, it seems like
Could it be Scrippy, or do you think it's like three separate entities?
I took it
Snaky, and
as it
Hat Man.
was.
Yeah, I took it as-
Okay, because I was just thinking that you got the warning of Snaky, and then all of a sudden Johnny Hat with the gorgeous green eyes.
Because the medicine man came in, and then it said like Scrippy and Snaky weren't there, but then she's like, and then.
But that choice of the word friend, I think, is very interesting.
No, let's see where it goes.
Oh, that was pregnant with foreshadowing. Well done. At this point, I was getting overwhelmed. But my sister, unbeknownst to me, was having problems of her own. She hasn't opened up to me to tell me exactly what happened, and I haven't asked. But apparently my mom did a smudging of her apartment. That's the sage, right? Walking around with sage.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
The same night, all of the echoes in my apartment showed up. All of them, all at once. They all looked like they were melting oil. Let me say that again. And they all looked like they were melting oil, all black and gooey. And the next day, they were gone. I never saw them again. I didn't know until like a week later that my mom had done the smudging. And that's the only thing I can think that happened. Frequently, things would happen at one of our houses and then continue at another of our houses. That is a really unique twist that we'll be the first to admit we're not like ghost experts at all.
Yeah, not at all.
No, but the story starts off at one house, goes to another, and things still happen.
Yes,
So
the following of hauntings I've heard of 1,000 times because these spirits or entities or whatever they may be it diabolical, dead people or interdimensionals, or who the fuck knows what, attach themselves to individuals or multiple individuals, and you can imagine like maybe even the kids from The Conjuring, though I'm just pulling shit out of my ass. I don't know. Like if a couple family members that are more sensitive moved to different houses, maybe they have things following them. What I have never heard of before is, and I've seen in horror films, but some sort of exorcism. I don't know if you consider a smudging an exorcism, but some sort of act of blessing in one place, creating havoc in a totally separate place. The only connection being the individuals genetically and experientially have dealt with the same paranormal entities.
Yeah, it's almost like if whatever was attached to this family just happened to follow them as they all left, and then when you do one mass exorcism, it kind of hits them all. So it's almost like it's connected to them in some way.
But it's not at the little sister's house where the ruckus is happening. It's it's over at Riley's. I just find that interesting.
Yeah,
it's almost
weird.
like the dick move parents pull, where like if one of the kids is being bad, like, well, y'all can't go to Marine Land now. It's like, but I want to see a whale suffer. Fuck you, Bobby.
yeah.
I'm joking, of course.
I like the "fuck you, Bobby" part. Fuck you, Bobby. You're not going to go see any suffering whales.
That absolutely did not happen. And had I known the whales were suffering, I would have felt every splash of Shamu like a tear on my heart. But
Yeah,
that
for
having
sure.
been said, not trying to open up that can of fucking worms. It's horrible. Blackfish for life. And by that I mean save all the whales from incarceration. I never liked being punished for somebody else's sins.
No.
Or, bad behavior.
Yeah.
Sins is heavy. So it's almost as if these things are lashing out at Riley for something. And I don't blame her sister for this and the mom for smudging. I mean, I've heard that's very effective, actually.
Yeah.
Though I've never participated. I've never had it happen anywhere I've lived, I don't believe.
No, and I've never experienced it myself.
We've got to open our mind holes. Let
do
some
it.
shit in. Okay. The years went by, and I moved into a new house with my now hubby. One night, when I was about 8 months pregnant, I woke up with that tingling down my spine of being watched. I took off my sleep mask. I always sleep with one to avoid accidentally seeing the Hat Man. That's interesting.
Good idea.
I mean, it's a good idea anyway. Cut out the light,
Yeah.
added comfort levels. But yeah, if you don't want to see shit, do it. But that doesn't sound like a friend. So I think maybe she was speaking tongue-in-cheekily when she said my old
for
friend.
sure, yeah.
Okay. So, and sure enough, there he was, green eyes and all, standing in the corner by the bathroom. And that's where you want to go. God damn it. Now, at this point, it was the middle of summer. I was hot. I was huge. I had to pee bad.
Oh, no.
I know. And unlike every other night I had seen him, I was just so tired and irritable that I got out of bed and started slowly toward him. I was so angry, I just remember thinking, fuck no, not tonight, bitch.
Yeah.
Fucking way to go, Riley, my new hero. It felt like it took an hour to walk up to him, but it must have only been a few seconds because I didn't pee myself. Small victories.
There you go.
And suddenly, standing right there in front of him, I was scared. More scared than I've ever been in my entire life. So scared, my veins literally felt like ice, like they say all the time in books and movies. But it was weird, because I could also tell that it wasn't me who was scared. It seemed to be emanating from him.
Whoa.
Oh, that's interesting. So I just kept going. Walked right through him and didn't feel anything except a rush of warmth when I reached the other side. He was gone when I turned around, and to this day I haven't seen him since, though I know he'll probably show back up when I least suspect. That's fascinating. Because at first I was thinking like baby scanners, like maybe her unborn child was sensing the terror and that was coming from there.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's not, I mean, yeah.
And then, but then
Scanners.
to think that this entity, this looming ceiling tall, beheaded, green-eyed fuck all, is the one projecting fear. And I guess it would make sense if these things, like we discussed briefly with the Mothman, where he was sitting lonely on Linda's rooftop, pining for his friends.
He needed a hug.
Like if this thing is lost here, we might be terrifying. We might be these terrifying troglodyte fuckalls that aren't nearly tall enough, and our eyes don't glow enough, and we're way too goddamn bright for our own good. We don't even look like shadows. And for something that lives in a universe where he is the norm, or she, or whatever it is,
Right.
We could be living nightmares that he constantly has to deal with. It's like, why do I always... It would be like us waking up in the cave of a Yeti constantly and just hiding in the corner and being quiet and like, I don't want to wake him up. I don't want to get tore apart. This is fucked up. While the Yeti's thinking, what the fuck is that thing in my corner all the time?
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking sage the fuck out of this cave.
Or conversely, though, if this thing had some sort of connection to her and it sort of realized, like, the jig is up, she's no longer afraid of me. She's hot. She's super preggers. She has to pee. She's walking towards me. She's not scared. And all of a sudden, like, you're cutting that bond.
Oh, that's interesting.
All of a sudden, I mean, that's kind of that, but that's that's like in like horror movies.
It is very horror films, but cliches sometimes are based on reality. And if you're an ultra-terrestrial, and I mean, what the fuck? If you're feeding on fear and you realize the gig is up, the fear of hunger is probably applicable across the board.
Isn't this how they defeated Pennywise? Where they're like, "You're not real," and he's like, "No," and he like gets all fucked up.
How they almost killed Freddy Krueger, except of course it was a false kill in the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
I turned my back on you and I booby trapped my mom's house and I'm bad.
I don't believe in you.
Like,
no, you must believe in me or whatever. So maybe, if she that's my best Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. Classic Freddy Krueger line, you must believe in me.
Yeah, so maybe if she just finally was like, fuck it, like she said, I'm fed up, and then she just walks her through him, he's like, fuck, there's my
just because it's a cinematic trope doesn't mean it can't have
I think there's
connection to reality.
There's something there where taking power from something definitely is probably be more powerful than we actually realize.
I will say, though, for the record, every movie, every book, every after-school special, all my uncles said, you got to stand up to your bullies. I was a short-ish chubby kid when I was young. And I proceeded to get the double fuck beat out of me. So I'm not saying you shouldn't stand up for yourself, because eventually you always have to. Well, we're all an after school special. That's the deal.
But I always thought you were like a bruiser. That you were just like crushing people.
I went tall in middle school, and I made myself try to look intimidating. But as Chris knows, because we were in school together, I was not a badass. I didn't go around looking for fights. I just got to a point where people stopped bothering me because I looked like I could handle myself.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I'm talking back in elementary school. I tried standing up to bullies. I kept doing it even after I got beat down more. So I guess integrity.
Yeah.
Rob
You know?
won't stop getting his ass handed to him. Good for
No matter
you.
what. But my point is, sometimes when you stand up to these things, maybe it works
Yeah.
out for the best. Sometimes maybe the terror increases 20-fold.
And, well, it looks like it worked for her, but let's finish this off and see what happens.
Yeah, we're right down to the end here. This really is fascinating, though. There aren't many echoes in the house I'm in now, which is good because after seeing them melt away, I don't think I'd be able to stomach a cleansing. I do occasionally see a gray cat running around. I do not have a cat. And I do occasionally see other shadow people scurrying about. I don't know if I like that.
Scurrying. But well,
Yeah,
that might be
that
here
bird.
just a choice
Yeah.
of words.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Because in my mind,
That-
I'm seeing somebody like spider crawl backwards, like fucking
Oh,
the
great.
cutscene from The Exorcist
Yeah,
down
it's-
the stairs.
It's gnarly.
Yeah, okay. But none that take as much of a notice of me as the Hat Man did. And I imagine that would be the worst part, being
Yeah.
seen. Not seeing, but being seen. Anyway, that's the long and short of it. There were obviously a lot of little things that happened over the years, as this spanned about 30 years. But those are the big ones. Thank you for giving me an outlet to finally get this off my chest, and hopefully it was at least an entertaining read. Abso-fucking-lutely, Riley. Hit me up if you need anything else. Cheers, Riley. And again, thank you.
Yeah, hell yeah, Riley.
We could
thank
use
you.
some gold, a couple pizzas, some fucking beer.
There it is.
Thanks, Riley.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story, Riley. No, that's interesting. It's almost like, so how she said that, this kind of has been in her family and they're all connected to all this different stuff. And even out of this day that she still sees stuff. So if she has, I don't know what you would call it, like whether it's some kind of connection to this stuff or
Whether it's like a type of clairvoyance where you're
yeah,
more open
you're
to
just-
it.
She's open to it. And maybe that's why this Hat Man attached himself to her, because he could, I don't know, for some reason attach himself to her. But to this day, if she still sees this stuff, maybe it's kind of like she just kind of got it under control.
Well, yeah.
Where
I mean,
like
it's
this
like-
thing got on her, and then she was like, "I'm pregnant. I'm hot. I got to piss. Fuck you." And either like, "Oh, she's a badass."
Truly.
Like, don't fuck with Riley. She'll fuck you up.
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, thank God she didn't run into a Patoosie sheep slayer.
Yes.
Because that shit would have gone fucking
Pierogi.
rogue.
Pierogi sheep slayer.
But
The worst.
so what intrigues me most about all of Riley's experiences, dually, are one that it was a family-oriented thing, particularly the female members. So I don't even know if dad or if there were brothers involved or whatever were even participating. I find that really interesting that there was definitely a bond between the women and their ability to experience it, and that just the sheer number, like a skeletal imaginary friend that may or may not
Right.
have been a paranormal manifestation is it's really on the nose. It's like old school Disney cartoon on the nose. So you wonder if it's something just trying to be, I don't know, ironically macabre, but in a friendly way, or if Scrippy had no choice but to look like that. Did Snakey ever fucking show up at all? Was that just an unnecessary horror story?
I don't know, man.
How does fucking Hat Man involve the other two, or does it at all? And it's like this plethora of like little mysteries that are interwoven with each other.
Yeah.
And it just makes me wonder. And also the fucking repeating animals. Like, I would need to know more about Hat Man mythology. Like, what are they
Right.
supposed to really be doing?
The weird echoes is kind of bizarre, where she's just having this stuff repeat for no reason. It's not like she's in a house that's haunted, but it's almost like wherever she is, she's amplifying something
Yeah.
because it follows her.
Like, I mean, some people are probably amps. And if the paranormal is, if like a lot of people think like string theory or whatever, like physics itself breaks down into sound.
Right.
Then a human amplifier could probably help to like these things that would normally go unnoticed and just be like little buzzes in the background amplify to the point where they become visible to people and
Yeah.
audible to people. And I'm sure somebody has a much more refined version of that theory out there, but that would make perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
And the repeating echo thing, that's one of the most common tropes in hauntings since word go.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's not unique, what is unique is that it's mostly animals. So of course, you got the scurrying people. So anyway, Riley, this is an excellent story. It's fascinating. I hope you're not feeling threatened anymore. That's the key. I hope your child doesn't feel threatened.
Nah, man, I think she's fucking kicking ass and taking names over here. She might be a magnet for strange shit, but you can't fuck with her.
Well, being a badass
No,
and then
yeah.
and then
Hard as
feeling
nails.
terror from the entity that exudes terror.
Yeah.
And maybe, like I say, maybe disempowering an ultra-terrestrial or some other paranormal entity is the thing that scares them most. Maybe it doesn't just weaken them, but, just destroys their purpose. Maybe even annihilates them in a literal sense. Who knows?
Yeah, well, thank you so very much, Riley, for sharing that with us. Super creepy. I'm gonna get a mask, I think, because I can't wear my pit vipers to bed. That'd be weird. But I think I'm just gonna get like a mask and then be this.
I think that would bother me more.
A mask.
Yeah.
My daughter wears a mask to bed all the time. She loves it.
Some people like
She
that
just puts it
silky
on, she goes to
eye
bed, and
feeling,
that's
and
it.
they don't get.
Yeah.
I'm with Chris.
I'm like, it doesn't mean the outside world doesn't exist just because you have a mask on.
It's kind of like the whole blanket idea. You put it over yourself and you're safe.
It's no, that's not the same for me. Blanket's
Okay.
full-bodied protection against the supernatural. A fucking mask is
Gotcha.
just duping your eyes, going, "No, it's not there."
It's
There's a fucking werewolf muzzle 3 inches from your fucking face. It's still fucking there.
You got Jason Voorhees breathing on you. Michael Myers under the bed.
If you-
Who's at
right.
the door? Freddy Krueger.
If you got a blanket, it's just pacing in the room, going, "Fuck."
Yeah, damn it, they got me.
If you just
can
have the
I-
mask
son of a
on, it's
bitch.
fucking. You can hear the breathing.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
you can feel the hot werewolf breath on your face, and then you're like, "Fuck you, werewolf! You can't get me because I can't see you."
Let me tell you right now, those are the pit vipers talking.
Dude,
That's not what anyone really
There's
says.
a bit of these bring a certain amount of confidence. Robert, next story,
Oh,
please.
God damn it. All right, we're moving on. Thank you again, Riley. Now we have a story from Morgan. So thank you, Morgan. And it's called Potential Dark Watcher-like Entity.
Oh, there's a theme.
So Mark went with a theme. I love that.
Sure did.
There it is. All right, so it begins. Good now. It's amazing one sentence.
Oh,
love it.
I thought, am I missing something? here?
Good now. I say that because it could be either the day or evening, depending on when this reaches you. Oh, that was so nice.
good now.
So have a good now.
This
Yeah.
is reaching us on July 2nd. It's a Friday. It is 8:18 p.m.
But it's a good now.
The year is
Yeah.
2021.
Good now.
Oh.
Good now to you.
Yes.
Yes.
And good morrow. My name is Morgan. I'm 22 years old at the time of this writing, and at the time of writing this, and I've been a huge fucking fan of you guys ever since the end of the first quarter of 2020. Well, god damn it. Thank you.
Well, thanks.
Hell yeah, thank you.
You guys have been making me smile almost every day. Aw. And helping me through this undoubtedly the most stressful, anxiety-ridden, and depressive time of my life. Well, fuck that, because it won't last. So fuck all that depressive bullshit. I'm so glad we can help you in any way. Just always take comfort in the fact that everything is temporary.
2020 sucked for everybody.
Yeah,
We're-
for sure.
We are here for you.
At the time of writing this, though, I'm only on episode 147, so please forgive me for being so far behind. No. Fucking no. You don't get just ask forgiveness for something like I'm fucking around. All right.
Yeah.
I know this year has been shit for almost everyone on the planet, however, and if someone says otherwise, they're most likely lying. Anyway, I would like to tell y'all the story of an entity that has been both blessing and plaguing my life ever since the summer of this year, which is 2020 at the time I am writing this. I do have a bit of difficulty explaining what's in my brain, so hopefully you guys can bear with me. The entity I speak of is a figure that I can only ever see through the reflections of anything that isn't a mirror. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
That's fascinating.
Like in a car or something?
Shiny metal,
Well, yeah.
a puddle,
All right, weird.
as long as it's not a mirror,
Like
I
a
guess.
spoon?
Oh, a spoon's not a mirror, dude. So,
So yeah,
yeah, there it is. You want to list all the things you can think that reflect?
I mean, your phone.
Yeah. Okay.
The Kinder Normal with fucking Mark Stores. Oh, that's fascinating. Okay. So, glass frames, windows, or paintings in glass frames. Okay. I can only ever see this entity, whom I have dubbed Reggie. Nice.
All right.
Out of the corner of my eye. Although he is usually just a passing glance, I can see him and maintain contact, for lack of a better term, or at least until I turn my head to look at him, to which he simply disappears. I have even attempted to take pictures of him on my phone, but when I look at the photos I've just taken, he is nowhere to be seen within the confines of the screen. That's some typical paranormal shit right there. Reggie usually appears as a large, slumped-over humanoid, wearing what appears to be a long cloak covering his whole body. He also only appears either entirely white or entirely black. He has no discernible facial features, nor does he appear to have any eyes. I have even seen him twice in the form of a similar appearance to the California Dark Watchers, hat and all. I was about to say, is that the hat one?
Oh, right, yeah,
Hat and
yeah,
all.
yeah.
So yes. However, what sets them apart is the lack of eyes and the poor posture that he should probably see a chiropractor about. Here. To give further explanation of his appearance, he looks incredibly similar to the appearance of a character known as the Master from season 1 of an FX show called The Strain.
Oh yes, I remember that show.
That was the Del Toro one,
Was that
right?
the vampire show?
I
yeah,
think
that was
so.
that was the
I don't think I've
vampire
seen that,
show, and
no.
then the Master was he was the it was the vampire that was in the crater, whatever they brought him up. Remember, there's that cool rogue vampire who was like
I
that-
never watched
I
that
only
show.
watched part of the pilot.
it was so good, dude. Definitely check that show out. It's fucking dope.
So describe the Master to
Yeah,
us.
no, he's like this weird, creepy, hunched over, fucked up looking dude.
All right.
Like
Okay.
the vampires are more like the classic, almost like Mexican vampire, like the bald, with the big
Nosferatu, you mean?
like big, like crazy fangs
Yeah,
and
alright.
shit. Kind of like from Dusk Till Dawn, sort of like that.
Is that where you came up with the Mexican vampire? Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know
He's
what
classic
you know
Mex-
about Mexican
classic
vampire
Mexican
lore, but-
vampire.
Yeah.
Okay, that helps. But yes, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean. Okay, that was funny. All right.
Classic fucking Mexican vampires
Yeah,
from Dusk Till Dawn.
vintage Mexican
Motherfuckers.
vampires,
You don't
yes.
remember these? When the chicks are dancing, I was like, yeah! And they're all fucking Selma Hayek. There's a fucking snake.
Well,
From
they were
that
just
one
vampires
movie
that
in
happened
the
to be
mid-nineties.
Mexican.
Yeah.
Dude, then the band fucking turns into a bunch of, like, oh shit, they're vampires, but then they're fucking playing the fucking bass and it's a
We
dude's
all
body.
enjoyed
I don't
Dusk
think
Till
we.
Dawn.
I think we need to revisit it as a fucking
I feel
group.
like you're getting a little defensive here, and I don't know why.
I think these glasses are gonna start kicking some ass and taking some names.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like classic Mexican vampires.
Yeah.
Okay.
So stupid. I love it.
Jokes aside, though, I even have 3 friends who have all claimed to have had a run-in with this at least once. I'm reading it funny, but you get the point. One of them had only seen him one time. So far that she remembers, she was working at McDonald's, a former place of employment of mine. She was working the second window when a dark figure quickly darts across the camera view of the drive-through lane, a shadow taking shape vaguely similar to his. I assume the Master. I had seen similar occurrences when I worked there as well, although they were more like discolorations of the screen, moving as if it were with purpose and knowledge. It's hard to explain, so I hope you can figure out what I'm talking about. I had even heard, let me scroll down here, voices of my coworkers in the back of the restaurant who, to my surprise, upon my investigation, were either absent from the store or entirely, or no longer even worked at the restaurant. The second friend who claims she has witnessed him had seen him both in my house, specifically the exact locations that I have seen him, and at her house as well, although in the form of ghostly disturbances, such as things falling over with absolutely no explanation, or doors opening and closing when no wind or other people are present in the house. That's interesting. So she's having poltergeist manifestations in her own home, but seeing this thing, which makes me wonder if she's just correlating 2 paranormal things, which is what
could
people would
be.
do, or if there is an actual connection.
It could be. Again,
What's really bizarre is this fucking thing is showing up in the McDonald's drive-thru, and more than one person is seeing this on camera. Where it's like, well, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah.
or it could be a completely different thing.
It's true.
Right. Okay. The third friend of mine, who lives all the way in Colorado while I live in Michigan, nowhere near Mexico, shockingly, believes she may be experiencing him similarly to the latter 2 examples of the second friend I had described. I also find it interesting that every person he has shown himself to have been both all female and all under stress, anxiety, and depression, very similar to mine. Well, that's something I've definitely read about, like human beings, regardless of the gender, though I can see pointing that out in this case, and we just talked about it in Riley's case. People that are going through emotional turmoil, some people say they're just more open to it, or if you want to be very pessimistic, more vulnerable to attack by things with nefarious intentions.
Huh.
Like if you're depressed, you're more susceptible to getting a cold or something, like bacteria
Right.
can
Right.
take a hold or a virus or whatever, because your body is just not equipped to fight it as well as if you were feeling good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
happy, all the rest of that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, with all this explained, I have a few theories of what Reggie may possibly be. This all started occurring shortly after we had left for my birthday trip in August, where we went around the week monster and ghost hunting around the lower and upper peninsula of Michigan. Well, that's interesting. Is that supposed to be a haunted area particularly?
I don't know.
I know people that live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I haven't heard that it's like Ghost Central or anything like that.
Well, it's her
but-
home state, so maybe it's
Yeah.
just conveniently close.
Totally.
It's picturesque, though.
Oh, beautiful.
Although we unfortunately experienced neither, we did visit a few places I believe I may have attracted him, such as a cemetery in the LP Lower Peninsula, and at the time, I'm sorry, I read terribly sometimes, unoccupied summer camp area in the Upper Peninsula, of which I have posted pictures. I honestly don't know what it is, so hopefully you can help my tiny dumb brain. I take umbrage with that. However, I personally don't believe him to be of malicious intent. Ever since Reggie came into my life, for better or for worse, I had confrontations with people who I once thought were my friends. One of them had tried to trick me into moving with them with the promise of escaping my current living situation when, 2 weeks before I was to move in, her ex-husband had tried to trick me into signing a lease of which they had been planning all along so he could leave the apartment at an early convenience. But to my surprise, less than a day after the argument had occurred, she experienced car and health troubles that prevented her from getting to work. The second comes from a racist coworker who had been insulting me multiple times prior over incredibly small mistakes. Less than 30 minutes later, she was washing dishes. And her dishes, she should wash her fucking filthy mind out, in the back of a restaurant when a tray of dishes came falling out of the shelf above the sink with no conceivable explanation. The dishes were clean and dry, there was no wind since the back door was closed, and the shelf was at no incline whatsoever. Additionally, the shelf had experienced absolutely no issues at all prior to the incident. Oh, it's interesting. So Reggie might be looking out for her.
Yeah, it almost sounds
okay,
like.
well, that'll make sense. This
Yeah,
is maybe
a blessing and a plague.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Reggie's not. If Reggie's got her back, and her friends fucking ex there is fucking around trying to get her to sign some bullshit to like dump an apartment on her.
Yeah, just so the hubby can leave. And
Yeah,
now
and then
you're
you
gonna
got-
get saddled with everything. And she's, young.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And then you got some piece of shit racist coworker being an asshole.
Yeah, always
and then
a bag
Reggie's
of-
like, fuck you, and then just dumps
If
dishes.
there's one thing I love in life, and I don't go around mentioning it a lot because why would I? It's when heavy dishes fall on racists.
I mean,
It's just it's one of those small joys that you get.
Like,
You're like,
here you go.
and I've actually seen it happen once. Won't get into details now.
Yeah, I could watch a
Where
YouTube
dishes
compilation of that
just-
for hours.
In real time, I saw dishes for no good reason explode out of a shelf and shower on a racist, and it made me very happy.
There you go. All right.
So, let's continue with Morgan's story. This is why I believe that I may have with this entity, at least to it, a symbiotic relationship, for lack of a better term. I'm not sure if it's paranormal or something of, say, ultra-terrestrial origin.
Ooh.
But what I do know is that it goes out of my way to spook me in the strangest ways. To clarify, there have been incidents where figures on my shelf, such as a roughly 10-inch tall Leader Class Ultra Magnus toy,
Ooh,
geez.
shit. That's dope.
nice, went falling off my shelf. It didn't go flying exactly, but it was sent at such an angle and landed far enough from my shelf in such a way that it wouldn't simply occur with just a simple fall. Other examples include my door rattling in roughly 3-second intervals that seem unnaturally timed, and feeling my shirt pulled from the back while on the treadmill whenever I attempt to take a drink of my water bottle. All while my door on both incidents were always closed.
So nobody was in there fucking with her.
Right.
Right.
With this said, however, I don't believe him to be of malevolent origin, or at the very least intent. I believe he may be, quote-unquote, feeding off of my jolt reaction to his black magic fuckery. By the way, great turn of phrase.
Black magic fuckery might need to be something that we create with her as a co-author.
No doubt.
Like,
It is my honest belief that he may be defending me, for lack of a better term, to provide him with sustenance or whatever he requires me for.
Weird.
Oh, that's a fascinating idea. Like instead of to go D&D, instead of just evil or good,
Right.
like chaotic neutral, like, yeah, I'm going to have to siphon off some of your shit and it's going to require you to get a couple of jump scares.
Right.
But I'm going to protect you from this really horrible shit. You're my milk cow.
Yep.
You know, or whatever sustainable food, you know, livestock you are. I'm going to protect you in every way I can, but I still got to occasionally do some shit that's not, you know, totally comfortable to get my fucking belly filled.
If this entity is using her as a resource, you wouldn't want anything to harm it.
Right.
You know?
And you know, I mean,
Sustainability.
Sustainability.
You got to sustain it.
Oh my God, paranormal sustainability.
Yeah.
We should write a paper.
We should. Black magic fuckery. God, there it is. All right.
All right, that's fascinating. Okay, so why else would those two occurrences of incredibly convenient circumstances even take place if not for his need to feed off my brain's fear nectar? Had a nice turn of phrase. He also has not gotten more malevolent than simply tugging on my shirt while on the treadmill, which would most likely only cause a simple knee scrape or, at the worst, a sprained ankle. That's a hell of a tug. Thankfully, I have yet to suffer any of the sort or a similar variety. Hopefully, I've given enough to go off of, because this has already been very long. Thank you all so much for the time and for also being in my life through your podcast. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys decided to fuck around with dumb stories of cryptids, ghosts, bums, and sticks, and aliens that I love so much. Much love, Morgan. That's right back at you, Morgan. Thank
yeah,
you.
for sure.
Thank you, Morgan.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, that she kind of is onto something there, though. Like, I was kind of making my own hypothesis about it, but taking her kind of theory here, where if whatever this is attached to her and it needs her for whether she's like a magnet. Now, let's say that this thing attached itself to her, right? And it just happens to be a part of her life and it's there. If it needs her to survive, but it doesn't want anyone fucking with her, then it would be like some sort of weird parasitic relationship. Like it's not necessarily hurting her, but it's just like, I'm going to kind of stick around to make sure that you're okay so that I can then in turn use you for whatever weird parapsychological things I got to do.
All right, right. You're right about that, but I would say less parasitic and more symbiotic at that point. Because,
well, that's what she says.
I mean, you definitely are, you're giving a little something and you're getting something back.
Yeah.
And if, you know, it's a little uncomfortable to be scared or to be freaked out or see something out of the corner of the eye, which would totally be enough to really fuck up some people profoundly. Totally. And if you're a person that can roll with it, and this entity, whatever it is, understands that to our perceptions, it's not attractive. It's freaky looking, and that's part of its deal. And extracting fear is how it feeds. It would be an interesting way to look at the ultra-terrestrial phenomenon, where it's not all straight up malevolent, where it's just, this is what I need. But in the meantime, I don't want you, I don't feed on your despair. I don't feed on your anxiety. I don't feed on any of this shit. I'm going to try to help you not get caught up in all of these things that might hurt you. I'm going to occasionally scare you and lap up its, what was it, vile nectar or whatever she said that was so awesome.
Oh, fear nectar.
Fear nectar. But for the most part, you know, you're my buddy. And even if he thinks of her like a pet, say, most people love their pets and like, yeah, I need my cuddles. I need my shit that I need from my cats or dogs, but you know, I'm still going to restrain you and do other things that maybe a free loving creature wouldn't love. So there's sacrifices, but she might be making out, because if she's getting overall protected and she can live with the minimally invasive terror-inducing moments, like shirt pulled on a treadmill, then maybe it's not so bad. But then this also could be a gateway drug to some hellacious shit.
This could eventually turn into a full body possession, if that's what you're saying.
Like, the Warrens would not be happy about this.
No. And again, I personally don't know enough about the paranormal or ghosts. I don't think any of us really do. But yeah, I guess like part of me would think, like, is this just kind of getting her comfortable for some reason? Does he be like, hey, you know, I'm here, I'm your buddy, I'm just going to fucking feed off your weird little tingle fucking fear juice. And all of a sudden, oh, guess what? You're mine. Like...
Well, it entirely depends on your perspective, because if you are like deeply religious, you think anything that is not, you know, straight Christ, a dove, or a wooden cross is malevolent as fuck, and you're gonna be like, this is evil, pure evil. It's always diabolical. Fuck it. But if you're like more open-minded and you think to yourself, this is not even maybe theological. We just live in a world where there's elementals and there's fae and there's all sorts of fucked up shit. And this one thing, this is how it lives, and it's doing me right for the most part, and and it needs to do whatever to feed off me. Then this might be a really super positive thing. I guess it really depends on who you are and where you're coming from, how you interpret it. What also depends on is what is the next step.
Right.
Because there's friends involved who have seen it. And I don't know, besides discoloration on like TV monitors and stuff, if they're getting affected directly, if they're getting little jolts of fear. Mm-hmm. And so I would be interested to know in the greater scheme, like, are other people feeling like, oh yeah, I get a little jump every now and again, but for the most part, I found out before I started dating this guy that he was a real shitheel, and so I didn't end up, wasting a year of my life or something.
Right.
And like, it's helping out.
Hopefully this tulpa with benefits,
with benefits
ends up working out. I don't know, keep an eye on that shit, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe some smudgings or however that shit works. Salt crystals.
I'm not entirely convinced, not even this story, even in the first story, that these things are entirely their own things with their own agency.
How does that? What do you mean by that?
If they're, it seems very plausible that they are creating these things, whether they know it or not. That doesn't mean it has its own agency if they don't know they're creating it.
So you mean literally, like Mark was talking shit, but you mean literally
more like a
tulpa?
A tulpa, but as far as I know, tulpas have their own agency. You created them, and then it does its shit. So
I'm
saying subconsciously, if you're creating
a tulpatomaton, just like something you create.
If you're creating like a poltergeist, and there's no testing to see that like you made this thing and it really has its own agency,
right?
But subconsciously it's just doing things that you really want it to do, but you're not actively controlling
the theory of poltergeist, that it is a psychic manifestation of the supposed victim rather than a sentient thing that attaches itself to the victim. I know what
she's
you mean.
mad, dishes fell.
Right.
You make things happen, especially in the first case too. Like the Hat Man just could have been the manifestation of her own self, which is why it also felt like it was coming from him, because it was just part of her.
Oh, that's interesting.
Man, that's real interesting.
Then she fucking confronted it, and then it went away.
Yeah, kind of like some weird,
whatever was creating,
almost like you're getting over your own shit, like you're working out your own fucking emotional shit.
Like going through therapy, but instead of it just being words and thoughts and like a kindly whatever fucking trying to say, so how do you feel about that? It's coming out as
her name's Amy. She's super nice.
All right, listen, I wasn't talking about anyone's personal therapist. I just meant whomever he or she is. Instead of just doing that, you are bringing it out and interacting with it in a completely, anomalous way for most people.
It's like any trope in a movie where someone's near death or something, and they're in their mind and they're talking to like somebody, but you're not. You're talking to yourself.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And you're having a conversation, but you're not making that person talk, but they are.
Because they're like about to expire from dehydration in the desert and whatever's going on, and
but just manifested
and then
in real life.
You see that Bruce Willis is actually dead.
There it is.
Yeah, and then you realize like, oh shit, he's been dead the entire time.
All right, so what we have then is the possibility that it's wildly misinterpreted.
Right.
We'll never take the devil off the table. I don't know about the diabetes status of these two individuals, but I'm going to assume for now it's pretty good. They're seem young and healthy. A manifestation of their own inner anxieties, stresses, and mayhem. Even though in both cases this thing interacts with other people, but that still doesn't mean that it's not there.
Yeah.
Right.
External manifestations whose origins and agendas are unknown. They could be, as Morgan points out, something that is mostly beneficial, but sometimes a curse. Or it could be something truly malevolent that is just playing the long game. Mm-hmm. That counts for Riley too. And we could be talking about some really dark shit that's waiting to interact, and we're talking about the stories like they're the same. They're not. I mean, the theme is there, but what Riley is going through and what Morgan is going through are obviously very unique. And it would be dangerous and foolish to, put like a mantle on both of them.
Right.
But just for general purposes, they could fit into any of those strata. You're creating it. It's something really shitty and is going to come back to bite you. or it's something that we coexist with maybe all the time. It's just most people aren't perceptive enough to realize it. Do we lean anywhere? Like, Mark, where would you go? It doesn't have to be just those three.
You know, actually, with Chris's explanation of it, I really like that idea. I don't know what I mean. It's I think that if you are going through something in whether it's like some emotional anxiety, depressive thing, and you're just kind of putting it out there in the world, and it's kind of like your way of getting over it and kind of like working through whatever you've got, whatever trauma you've got going on. Like, if it's something that powerful, you know, and if it's something that if you are kind of open to more paranormal things where you're literally like projecting your trauma out there and it's how you like work through it, it's kind of interesting.
Maybe it's not paranormal either. Maybe it's a spark of evolution.
Well, see, God damn it. He sells me every time.
Well, everything...
I have an idea and then I lose it because I just
Not
go
that
with
those
Chris.
things exist, but
Everything you don't have a handle on scientifically smacks of the paranormal. I mean, Arthur C. Clarke, it's been said many, many times before. So Chris is right. I mean, you know, hell, even in the Marvel movies, you know, when they talk about all the magic of Thor and the Norse, they explain this is just technology.
So even
that you
like...
don't understand.
Even like how like some alien abductions and interactions with aliens can be tied to like something psychically going on with you in your own head. What if that same thing could be said for something paranormal? Where these paranormal things that you're experiencing are actually some sort of weird psychic manifestation?
How fucking awesome would it be if at some point, maybe in our lifetime, maybe in the not too distant future, where you have like two real therapy choices. You can do it old school, except with like brain scans and shit, whatever tech happens in the singularity in 2045, where we can point out exactly, we can talk about all these things that built up to this thing that is now really haunting you, and we can process it out. Or total Rick and Morty style, we can pull this fucker right out of you, so it's manifestly there in front of you, and you can just beat the shit out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking hit it with a chainsaw, melt it down, whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
And then be done with it in a more cathartic, but perhaps less psychologically sound way. But how cool would that be an option?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
you know, all this stress you felt, you know, ever since you were in elementary school or whatever. You want to murder it, or do you want to work through it, you know?
There you go.
And maybe they can even do it in like a month in the future. Like, they can point it all out, find the parts of the brain, fucking just hit it, and then boom. And then you can build a brand new anxiety for next week. But at least you're done from that shit.
Nice.
Or you can literally fucking cage match your worst fucking bullshit that grows inside of you like some fucking horrible spirit cancer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that right there is one to grow on. Son of a bitch. I think we nailed it.
Yeah, as always.
I think
somehow,
we did.
maybe.
Yeah. Well, there it is. Thank you all so very much for joining us for the Cryptonaut Podcast. Presents Evil Science and Magic Buddies. Listener Stories, Part 16. Oh, we got more
Hard
coming.
to believe.
Dang.
We got more coming for you.
I love them.
Totally. Keep those coming. Email those, please, to the Cryptonaut, or I'm sorry, not the Cryptonaut Podcast, just cryptonautpodcast@gmail.com. You can send those there, and we're going to file them away in our Google Drive or whatever, where I look through them to look for themes to present to the boys every couple of weeks.
It's great. It really is a fresh and amazing resource. And thank you. Thank you this week to Riley and Morgan, but thank you to everyone that's willing to share, because I know it's not easy, and it's fascinating, and it's adding to the volume of information that we're all trying to accrue on this subject that we're fascinated by.
Totally. Be sure to follow us on the socials. We got the Instas, we got the Twitters, we got the Facebooks. What up to our Facebook group? Thank y'all for holding that down. Our admins over there holding that down for us. Thank you so very much. So many people around there. Be sure to join that group, the Cryptonaut Podcast fan page. Check that out. The Discord is available to the patrons. That is the $1 and $5 tier, patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. Get you access to the Discord. The $1 tier is the one bonus audio, and the Discord, the $5 tier, is the no more than 4 bonus audios and the Discord. So be sure to check that out. If you're on the Patreon, please join the Discord, because we got a bunch of shit happening over there. So jump on that. Get yourself some T-shirts, Robert. Get yourself some totes, man. It's the summertime. You know what you need? A tote.
Yeah.
You don't need a sweatshirt. And the hoodies are temporarily offline. All right, we're gonna bring the hoodies. The hoodies are a whole fucking thing. We're going to bring them back at some point in the future, probably like in the fall or whatever. But for now, get yourself a nice V-neck.
For the record, PayPay
Get yourself a tank top.
bought me one of our totes last year for my birthday, which
There
is
you
in
go.
July. So there it is.
Dope. There it is.
So I am the proud owner of a Cryptonaut tote.
Get yourself a Cryptonaut
Nice.
tote for your next birthday, Robert.
Why not?
Do it.
Get a tote
Mugs
every
and
year for
totes.
your birthday.
It's
Every year you
just
get a
makes
new
sense.
tote.
Do we have ball caps yet? Did I see that?
No.
Or why did I think?
No.
I must have dreamed we had
You
baseball
did.
hats.
We do not have baseball
Man, I would love to
hats.
have that someday.
Wow.
I would too, but we can't afford that shit.
I don't know where that came from. I
don't know.
I was surfing the web of my dreams.
You
and I
were.
saw, we have, and it was like the bat one, the little one that
I
we
would-
made into a pin. I'm like, that's a great hat.
People
I would
made
love to do
Noah made hats.
Oh yeah, actually yes, Noah
He
Cappadocia.
personally made us
Yeah,
hats.
Yes, that's
we-
yeah,
which I
that's it.
love.
Yeah, we
they're
have
dope.
leather patched hats. Yes.
Well, yes, I know about that,
Yep.
of course.
I didn't know if that's maybe you were just like
No,
and
it was
that
a
one.
jet black fitted ball cap
Huh.
with like the bat Cryptonaut, and I was like, I didn't know we had these.
You just may have saw some
Dude, is-
Amazon
yeah.
shit or like
is this some weird like mandala, like
could
mandala
be.
effect? Or you know what? You may have seen a bootleg one somewhere.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? We just frowned on the boots, but hey,
I mean,
I might have to buy that one.
I might
Yeah,
actually buy
shit.
that bootleg. So HowlerSpace.com, get yourself some t-shirts. We got sales happening there. Do not buy anything unless it is on sale, goddammit.
God damn!
All
it.
right.
my God.
If you want to spend the money, and basically the sale will cover the shipping for you.
It does.
But you know what? You do what you want to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to help you make.
Literally just told them what to do.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm here to help you make better financial decisions when it comes to buying our shit. Okay.
Fair enough.
Hey, sound good?
Jeez, wow. Well, it sounds
it's still
better,
pretty
but
aggressive, though. Yeah.
buy 9 shirts in the car and then send me the car.
I mean, I don't need a car. I'm good. But
Even if it's a
I don't want a vet. It's just too much.
Fiero.
No.
With those glasses on, you
I
can
can't
only
do
be in a fucking
shit with
Fiero.
those
Yeah,
cars
that's
in the
true.
winter, and we live in the winter most of the season. That's why I shut it down
Not as
after
much anymore.
fucking Halloween.
We had a spring this year.
And we did kind of a spring.
I can't wait till we have fall.
Oh,
Hopefully.
Like actual fall.
Yeah, hopefully it comes back.
Stunner.
That'd
Not
be
4
nice.
weeks of fall.
Yeah.
No, the liars fall.
And then
That's
it,
no
it
good.
just snows for the rest of our lives. So there's all the announcements.
Now we got to figure out
the outro.
a very special 200th pod.
We do. We will figure that out. We will have that out to you for our very special 200 episode, which we will figure out at some point.
I can't believe how quickly it's coming. It's
happened.
amazeballs.
It happened out of nowhere. So thank you all so very much for your continued support. We appreciate it so much more than you'll ever know. But thank you so very much, each and every one of you, for listening,
Yeah,
tuning
you're
in
the
each
best.
week. You're fucking awesome. Have an awesome week, and we're talking to you soon.
Goodbye.
Indeed. Really. For real.
One and all.
Good now.
Good
to each
now.
and every one.
I
of
love
you.
it.
Thank you, Morgan, for that one. That's now part of the vernacular.
That is.
That's
And
part of the lexicon
don't forget,
of Rob.
Don't forget Black Magic Fuckery.
Black magic
My
fuckery, indeed.
favorite.
Black
Keep it real.
magic fuckery.
See ya.